As you've been working on growing and scaling your coaching business, have you just gotten stuck, tired, and frustrated with selling one to one, coaching one to one, doing everything one to one, running out of time, getting burnt out, having a fully booked calendar, and left wondering, how on earth am I going to scale this business? Because I'm tapped out. Like my bandwidth is empty, right? If you've ever wanted to learn how to transition from one to one into one to many, well, my friend, today's episode is just for you. We're going to cover that very powerful scaling strategy. So let's jump in and learn how to scale from one to many, my friend. Right, so welcome back, everyone. I'm super excited. Today, I am here with my friend, Lindsay Ardmore, who is a business strategist and automation expert. So, of course, I had to have her here for this summit because she is like the queen of everything automation and systematizing, and she can definitely help you guys to take it to next level status. So welcome so much, Lindsay. I'm excited that you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit, for those in the audience who haven't met you yet, tell us a little bit about, what does automation expert mean? And when it comes to business strategy, what is it? Tell us about your zone of genius.
Yes. So automation is not like robots, but what it does is it helps you really take your prospect from cold to sold as quickly as humanly possible. And it really helps to take you out of your business so you can focus on cultivating the relationships and creating a community around yourself and a tribe that doesn't necessarily have to do with, following up with every single person or doing all of the things and running around like a crazy person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember being in that place, right? Of like following up with everything. Everything was a one-on-one connection point, and my income was limited by how much I could do in a day, right? So I have the feeling that you evolved out of that place, and I know you help a lot of other people evolve out of that. So tell us a little bit about how we can start moving out of that place of overwhelm and burnout from trying to do everything yourself.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I have a story to tell. Can I share a quick story?
Yes,
Okay.
do it.
Okay. So I've been in business for 5 years this year. I'm very proud of that. We've made some huge milestones. I've retired my husband. I've bought a couple homes. I've been able to do some really cool things. And our business is our sole income, which is absolutely magical. But the first couple years of my business, I was working all of the time. Everything was one-to-one. I was in the grind. I had team members and I didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they were doing stuff, but I was also doing so much stuff. So I ended up working like 12, 15-hour days when I had this newborn. So I had originally quit my job when I worked in corporate to be home with this little newborn. And I ended up working away most of her babyness. And that's really heartbreaking when I think back at it. I'm actually going to start crying because I worked so much. I'd be up at 2:00 in the morning after her morning feed, and I'd work all the way through to 2:00 in the afternoon. I'd take her for a couple hours, and then I'd be back to work until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that was the reality for a very long time until one day. And mind you, everybody, I'm an automation expert. I was building automation and systems in place for everybody else and had no idea in my own business how to put that together. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And what ended up happening was I woke up one day and I said, wow, I'm really not spending any time with my kid. And I ended up canceling about $8,000 worth of retainer client work in 1 month. Just shut it all down because it was just too much. And I decided, there's got to be a better way for me to do this. And I realized that as soon as I stopped doing everything one-to-one, as soon as I stopped doing sales consults one-to-one, as soon as I stopped working with so many people one-to-one, as soon as I raised my rates, as soon as I did some things that really leveraged my time, things got a little bit easier and things started to shift in my business, and I became a lot more successful and I became a lot more scalable, which is what we all want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a huge shift. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people in the audience who are in that same place you were, right? Of putting in the long, hard hours and not necessarily having the pay to make it feel like those hours were worth it. Like if you don't have freedom in your business, you're kind of just a slave to a different looking job.
Oh,
You
100%.
know?
And I don't know if you ever did this, but I've done this a lot and I do this all the time. I actually figure out what my hourly wage is. So when you go and you figure out what your revenue is inside of your business and you divide that by the number of hours that you're working in a month, you're going to quickly see that you're working for like $2, $3, $4, $5 an hour. That's not how you leverage your time and scale a business, right?
Yeah.
You've created yourself a worse job, honestly, a way worse job, because now you have stress around your paycheck, right?
Yeah.
You've created this, and it's really difficult to get out of it unless you do something different, and unless you kind of put yourself out there in a way that's probably different than what you're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how does someone get started? Like when you made that shift and like you said, like, gosh, what a huge leap of faith to like say no to all those clients, like $8,000 worth, to realize like, okay, I'm going to take time to like restructure myself and automate myself now, right? Like what was the first step or what's the framework of making that shift? How does someone even get started in making that shift?
That is such a good question. I'm like, whoa, boom, girl. Okay. So first thing is you probably have to make a mindset shift, right? I'm going to do it. You're going to put your line in the sand and you're going to make this a non-negotiable in your life and in your business. And the second thing is that you really need to get comfortable with the thought or the idea of selling one to many. So if you want to work one-to-one, I get hear this all the time. I have to work one-to-one. My magic is me, and like all of this stuff that we tell ourselves. If you have to stay in that space for a little while longer, you don't need to go and branch off into different things and do a bunch of different stuff. But what you need to do is you need to be really good and consistent and peaceful about selling one to many. Because if you can sell one to many, you can leverage your time and you can sell more and make more, and you can get out of that feast or famine where you're constantly looking for the next one person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I would imagine too, once you learn how to sell one to many, the few times that you are doing one to one, you can command a much higher price point for your time now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Because all of a sudden you've just elevated yourself as an expert.
Right.
When you're doing things that kind of like an ad hoc basis, one-to-one, you're meeting with them one-to-one, they don't know necessarily what kind of presence you command, and so your pricing can be, you allow yourself to be a little bit lower price than maybe you would want, right? But when you set yourself up as the expert and you're going into a one-to-many setting and you're commanding that, and they physically see other people in that space, all of a sudden your prices can go up, and all of a sudden you don't need as many people to do the work, and all of a sudden your time spent working is dramatically cut.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and plus there's like social proof everywhere of all the people who are looking to you as the expert. So it like immediately raises your authority, right? And your expert status and yeah, all those things, like more money, more freedom, more flexibility, everything at once. So do you have a certain technique or strategy or structure that you use to sell one to many?
Oh, yes, I do. I love masterclasses. So I love getting people into a space where I can give them really good value and also be able to, I always tell my clients, like, if you get in a room, you're going to sell, baby. Like, that's just got to happen. So you're in that space. They're all like, totally in love with you. They get to like, know, and trust you in the span of like 60 to 80 minutes. And you can sell off the back end of that really peacefully. And with the masterclass system that I use and I love, I teach you how to follow up with everybody automatically, because that's where a lot of people don't make money, is the fact that they just give up. So most sales, like 95% of sales, happen between the 7th and the 12th contact. So if your masterclass is one contact, you have 6 more touch points you need to make with that person in order for them to sell, right? It's just the law of statistics. So when you do a masterclass and you set it up gorgeously and it's all automated, all of a sudden you're going to be making sales while you sleep, which is what we want anyways, right?
Absolutely, right? Deliver your masterclass and then have automated follow-ups going out that chances are you do wake up to sales. And what a refreshing feeling. Instead of waking up at 2 a.m. and working, like you said in your
Yes.
story, how painful.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You get to wake up to the little like Stripe or PayPal notification. You're like, whoop, whoop, happy day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. So if someone's wanting to, learn how to run a masterclass, like how to do this, how could they learn how? Like tell us your magic. Your masterclass magic.
Honestly, Masterclass Magic is my program, and it's incredible. It's the full system. It shows you everything. It gives you everything. If you get my freebie little gift, you'll actually see how like all of that magic in place. So that's a good example for you. But if you got a VIP ticket for this summit, I'm actually going to give you Masterclass Magic for free, and it is so good. It's literally all my swipes, templates, copies, like the funnel build, how it's supposed to look, why you're supposed to do that. You can take all of my copy and implement it. And I have had people that have taken it, not techie at all, VIPers. Like, this is so simple. Anyone can do it. They've taken it and put it in place in their business over the weekend, and they've made money. Like the next week, it's magical.
Yeah. And I can tell you guys for sure, I've been inside and I've taken a peek in there. You don't have to be techie. Like, you just have to follow the system that Lindsay set up for you. And so I love that. So for any attendee, there will be a button somewhere around this video where you can grab her free gift, which is, essentially walking you through, she's teaching a class on how to do this, right? And then for the VIP holders, she'll give you all the details, all the how, all the pages, all the nitty gritty of how to actually do this, which is super, super cool. So for your clients who have implemented what they're learning about masterclasses and inside of Masterclass Magic, do you have examples of some of the results that they've achieved, or some of the results that you've achieved implementing this in your own business?
Yes. So I have had clients that have had their first 4 figures in launches, first 5-figure launches, first 6-figure launches. I have had people that have never done any of this ever before. They've spent like years in that hamster wheel working one-to-one, selling one-to-one, and doing everything one-to-one, who have turned this on in their business and have walked away with a 5-figure launch. So this is something I don't want you to be like, well, this won't work for me. This won't work for me. This will work for literally everybody. It's so easy to implement, and you see it and you think, maybe I can't do that. You 100% can do this, because this is like the most gorgeous, perfect way for you to sell and fill up your client books and your book of business without actually having to do all of the little itty bitty things. So yes, honestly, this has sold for people, a couple $1,000s worth up to 6 figures. It is golden, people.
I love that. And what I love about what Lindsay teaches is, like, when you use this method of selling in this really structured way through this kind of masterclass setup, there's only your perfect people come out the other end, right? And so, like, imagine having like dozens of dream clients, not just any client, but like dream clients, right? And so, like, you're working with people who are so excited, like they're thanking you for being there, and you're thanking them for being your perfect kind of client. And it's just like, it's this amazingness, right, that comes together.
Oh, 100%. And I think we often deal with long lead times, or it takes a while for people to get from cold to sold. And, it takes a process, and we tell ourselves that they need to be in my Facebook group, they need to be doing this, they need to be doing that. And the reality is, it's like, no, we need to get them into that refiner's fire, train them on something, let them shift themselves through, right? Let the cream rise to the top, and they will purchase. If you offer in that kind of environment, it's the same thing if you were in a live room, right? If you offer, they will purchase. And the people that don't, the people that were fence sitters, all of your follow-up will sell for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you're not a slave to your phone trying to follow up with all of them. It's just happening automatically.
Exactly. Yeah. Automatically.
Automatically. I love that. I'm gonna use that. That's a fun one. So thank you so much for sharing your genius with us. So for everyone here watching, be sure to grab Lindsay's freebie. And, if you're a VIP ticket holder, definitely jump into the Masterclass Magic. It's going to transform your business. If you're not yet a VIP ticket holder, what are you waiting for? Grab that. Like you're going to need this to take your business to the next level. And of course, Lindsay would love to help you get there. So I'm super excited about her topic.
You've been listening to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, where we support coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers to translate their big picture vision into actionable plans to build out their business efficiently. If you love our show, we invite you to visit buildalifebydesign.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover more helpful resources. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share. Thank you for listening.